This is CTV News with Michelle Brunoro.
The United States is a key NATO ally, right? As of today, they absolutely are. Until that changes, and I don't expect it to change, we need to work with them.
One-on-one with the commander of Canada's Pacific Naval Fleet, his priorities for an ever-evolving list of threats.
Shocked and elated. I didn't even have to fight for it. It was just somebody else out there who kind of heard me and was like, yeah, I have kids too.
How a unique road sign is helping one family feel safer when venturing outside with their kids in Nanaimo. Plus, Adam finds out how crime and kindness inspired more than a dozen dinosaurs to surround a Victoria ferry door later on the Sawatsky sign-off. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. The leader of Canada's Pacific Naval Fleet is sharing his priorities for naval operations on the West Coast as global tensions soar. He sat down with CTV News and is speaking candidly about Canada's shortfalls when it comes to our fleet and military recruitment. As CTV's Anna McMillan shows us, the commander's job would be highly complex at any time in history, but it's particularly challenging as myriad threats emerge.
And up in the Arctic.
The commander of Canada's Pacific Naval Fleet says his priority is to defend Canada from an ever-evolving list of threats.
It was different last week, it'll be different next week. And so we have to be ready to respond.
Rear Admiral David Patchell has been at the helm on the West Coast since August. He's on the job while the world watches the Trump administration intervene in Venezuela and threaten military action to take over Greenland.
The security situation is dynamic and challenging, but we continue to work closely with our American allies.
Patchell says Canada continues to train with the United States Navy, which he says is dedicated to protecting North America as a whole.
The United States is a key NATO ally, right? As of today, they absolutely are. And until that changes, and I don't expect it to change, we need to work with them, as we do with all 31 other nations in NATO.
Troops from some of NATO's European member nations are arriving in Greenland in response to the acquisition threat from the United States.
I don't think I'd ever be talking about, one NATO member threatening another NATO member, where it used to be good guy, bad guy. Now we're actually having even our own team fighting amongst yourselves politically.
That retired high-ranking military officer says Russia and China remain threats with significant interest in Canada's Arctic.
The North is in play now. This is about resources. This is about strategic influence. And both of those nations do not respect our sovereignty. And this is where the Navy, in particular where you are, comes into play to defend ourselves against those threats.
As for whether it's prepared to do that,
I will be honest in that we are limited in our fleet size right now and the age of some of our ships.
The Prime Minister has repeatedly pointed out Canada has only one operational submarine. Ottawa is working to procure up to a dozen more.
Giving us a true deterrent capability, the ability to protect our sea lanes in a way we have not been able to do for a generation.
Patchell says this harbor won't look the same in a decade, with various other ships in the pipeline.
We will have a new Navy, a modernized Navy, and not just in numbers, but also in capability. And then we need the sailors to fill those ships.
After missing recruiting targets for over a decade, Patchell says the Navy is about 2,000 sailors short.
2025 was a better year for us recruiting-wise, but we expect to recruit over 1,000 people into the Navy in this fiscal year.
The military recently announced significant pay increases, which Patchell says is another signal the government is investing in defense.
Why do we need to grow? To defend Canada, to secure North America, and to be a reliable ally for all of our partners.
Establishing a new Navy he believes will be better equipped to respond to the dynamic security situation and defend Canada. Anna McMillan, CTV News, CFB Esquimalt.
And the Canadian Armed Forces is conducting its annual month-long training exercise along the west coast of Vancouver Island. The Roguish Boy training enables the Army's combat divers to practice their skills, tactics, and procedures. The training includes pyrotechnics, which may be seen above the training sites and create loud noises. This year's training has a special focus and includes partners from the Netherlands, Germany, and Latvia and United Kingdom.
This year focuses on mobility and counter-mobility operations. So when we say mobility and counter-mobility, we're talking about potentially establishing crossing sites, bringing in, utilizing boats and ships to cross members from one point to the next site, as well as with the counter mobility piece. We'll be utilizing demolitions and conducting demolitions training as well.
Training takes place around the William Head, Mary Hill, Rocky Point, and Bentic Island areas between January 16th and February 12th. Police in Comox are asking the public to help locate a missing teen last seen in the Comox Valley. 16-year-old Brenton Smith hasn't been seen since January 8th in Courtney. He is described as Caucasian, 5'10", approximately 180 pounds, with brown hair and blue eyes. Police are concerned for Benton's health and well-being. Anyone with information is asked to contact local police or Crime Stoppers. It's a first-of-its-kind sign for Nanaimo, and it's been installed to serve the unique needs of a family. CTV's Andy Garland shows us how the sign is alerting drivers to slow down and be aware of their surroundings to allow a young boy to safely get outside.
Like any 6-year-old, Torin and his 2 brothers love to be outside.
Ride my bikes and play.
Living on a blind corner, there's existing signage in their neighborhood warning drivers of kids playing.
We all share the common interest of everybody slowing down.
But Torin's parents wanted more to deter motorists from potentially speeding because, you see, Torin is completely deaf and wears cochlear implants.
The cochlear implant has allowed him to hear 93% of what we hear, which is amazing.
However, when Torin wears his helmet, the cochlear implants are muffled.
Covers the microphone perfectly. So he hears significantly less than anybody else wearing a helmet out on the street. I have to be yelling quite loud for him to hear me.
So Torin's parents approached the city to see if they could have a sign installed, making drivers aware a deaf child is in the area. And when they heard back, the city said yes.
I was shocked and elated. I didn't even have to fight for it. It was just somebody else out there who kind of heard me and was like, yeah, I have kids too.
And this will force and draw attention to what can be a particularly frightening and dangerous safety situation.
And on January 9th, the day after Torin's birthday, 2 signs on either side of the blind corner were installed.
So it says deaf child area.
This is the first of its kind sign in Nanaimo, and there are similar signs on the island, like these ones in Colwood.
The first thing I want them to think of is like, oh, someone might not hear me coming around this corner, and I don't know what I might find, especially because it's not just a deaf child, it's children.
The deaf child area sign will stay up until Torin is old enough and no longer needs it, or the family moves.
Or he hits 12 and he becomes incredibly embarrassed by what I've done.
Torin's family was told the city would then keep the signs until another family needs them. Andy Garland, CTV News, Nanaimo.
A section of the Galoping Goose Trail remains closed, and there is no date to reopen access. The section between Viaduct Park and Cecilia Road remains closed due to potential slope instability. Trail users have had to follow the posted signs for the detour around that closed section of the Goose. The trail originally closed in mid-December after staff discovered a failing retaining wall above the trail on private property. CRD staff are in contact with the private property owners to assess the portion of the wall, which is near a sewer line owned by both the City of Victoria and the Capital Regional District. The Fairmont Empress Hotel's historic Bengal Lounge has reopened, although now it's simply called the Bengal. The room was originally opened in 1912 as a reading and writing room for guests. In 1954, it became the Cornet Lounge, Victoria's first cocktail lounge. Then in 1969, it was transformed into the Bengal Lounge, an Indian-themed space complete with a tiger rug hanging above the fireplace and a buffet. 9 years ago, the Bengal Lounge closed, and that tiger rug mysteriously went missing. That rug has still not been recovered, even after a thorough police investigation. Now, after an extensive renovation, the Bengal is open once again for breakfast and dinner. The Empress says this is just the first phase of the reopening, and there are bigger plans for the space in the works.
We'll be looking at doing some pop-ups like we used to do in the Bengal Lounge, but it will also be available to be Victoria's largest private dining room. Maybe a Christmas party or a wedding or a rehearsal dinner, and that's sort of what the next chapter is. We really want to bring the Bengal back and get it right for it to be the next edition here at the Empress as the breakfast restaurant.
The Empress is hopeful that one day that tiger rug will be returned. Well, if you were hoping to snag a Parks Canada camping spot this morning, you probably encountered some challenges. As we told you yesterday, bookings for this summer's camping season were supposed to open today, but the Parks Canada website encountered some technical difficulties. The service did not specify what the issues are, but said they are not related to the volume of people trying to access the booking site. Parks Canada tells CTV News the reservation launch has been moved to January 29th at 8 a.m. Pacific. It is also delaying Monday's West Coast Trail reservations until February 5th at 8 a.m. An annual herring sale that raises thousands of dollars for kids with cancer is a go for this weekend. The annual Fishermen Helping Kids with Cancer fundraiser was postponed last week because of a hungry group of sea lions. They say thousands of invasive California sea lions followed their boats and feasted on the herring they were trying to catch. The sale goes tomorrow at Finest at Seafish Market in James Bay. You'll be able to buy 20 pounds of herring for $25. Since 2011, the herring sale has raised $1 million for kids being treated for cancer at the BC Children's Hospital.
This was our 6th consecutive double-digit day in Victoria. Officially 10 degrees for a daytime high, although we've slipped to 7 at the harbor right now, still 9 at the airport. More double-digit days and more sunshine in the forecast for the weekend. All that right after the break.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Explore the endless possibilities at one of our 36 BC locations. Learn more at expediacruises.ca.
West Shore Parks and Recreation a perfect place to play? It's our staff working behind the scenes to keep the pool safe, kids engaged, and programs thriving. So apply today and join our team.
And Josh joins us now with a look at weather. It was a beautiful day out there, especially for January.
Yeah, more of that on the way through the weekend. More double-digit daytime highs, more sunshine in the forecast. I think this pattern starts to break down middle of next week. But until then, it's going to be a nice, dry and warm run here. 10 for a daytime high in Victoria, at least at the airport. It's 9 right now, 10 in Tofino. A little cooler in Comox and Port Alberni, sitting at 3s. Watch Futurecast. It's not that the models are malfunctioning. There's no real cloud cover expected across most of the. I mean, you may get partly cloudy skies tomorrow in Port Hardy. You may see a little bit of patchy cloud cover here and there, but for the most part, it's mainly sunny right across the island for the next couple of days. Morning fog patches for a lot of areas, though. Sunshine by tomorrow afternoon. 7 degrees in the north, 7 as well on Sunday. Sunny with a few clouds Sunday, and then mainly sunny for Monday. We'll see a slight chance of showers on Tuesday. I think Wednesday has a better chance at seeing some showers or some periods of steadier rain in the north. Sunny for the next 3 days for inland areas. Average daytime high is 4 degrees. Should get to about 7 or 8 for daytime highs Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. You will continue to see temperatures, though, similar to what we had this morning, just slightly below 0 to start the days through the weekend and into Monday. Patchy morning fog possible out on the west coast, and then sunshine and 11 for a daytime high tomorrow. 11s as well, and mainly sunny skies Sunday and Monday. Bit of cloud cover starts to make its way in Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. You may not see any rain, though, until late Wednesday or Thursday out on the west coast. Some morning fog patches in the Comox area. High of 10 with mainly sunny skies in the afternoon. Sunshine at 10 degrees on Sunday. You're still close to double digits Monday. Back a little closer to average, a little more cloud cover there for Tuesday, Wednesday. And Nanaimo as well, some morning fog. That should burn off by mid-morning. Mainly sunny skies, 10 degrees in the afternoon. That's about 4 degrees above average. 10 and 9 with sunshine Sunday, Monday, and then back to about 7 Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. In Victoria, 2 degrees tomorrow morning, 11 and mainly sunny in the afternoon. Wind not bad. Out of the north at about 15 to 20 kilometers per hour. There will be a little bit of a breeze. 10 degrees on Sunday, and then 9 or 10 with mainly sunny skies on Monday. Cloud cover starts to work its way in. Temperatures get back to average Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll be keeping a close eye on this. And actually, I misspoke earlier. I said this was our 6th consecutive double-digit day. It was the 5th. And that's important because since 2000, the longest stretch in Victoria of consecutive double-digit days in January is 9. And if we can get these 3 in there, we'll be really close to that. CTV Weather is brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. Even if we don't get to that stretch, though, Michelle, enjoy the sunshine and the mild temperatures.
You know what? Double-digit days in January. Wow, can't complain about that, at least if you want to get outside for the weekend. All right, thanks for that, Josh. Well, Prime Minister Mark Carney says his government has reached a landmark deal that will see China slash tariffs on Canadian canola. In exchange, Canada will allow tens of thousands of Chinese-made electric vehicles into Canada. The deal will remove all existing tariffs on Canadian canola, meal, lobsters, crabs, and peas until the end of the year and permanently reduce its tariffs on canola seed to 15%. 100% tariffs on canola oil will remain. In exchange, Canada will let 49,000 Chinese electric vehicles into Canada, essentially tariff-free, increasing the number every year.
It's expected that within 3 years, this agreement will drive considerable Chinese investment in Canada's auto sector, creating good careers in Canada and accelerating our progress towards a net zero future and the auto industry of the future.
Prime Minister Mark Carney's trade deal with China covers more than just cars and canola. It will have an impact on other industries and Canadians. As CTV's Rachel Aiello reports, the new agreement is being met with strong and split reactions from premiers and tariffed sectors.
It's just a terrible, terrible, miscalculated decision by the Prime Minister.
Ontario's Premier slamming the federal government for not consulting the auto industry before agreeing to allow more Chinese EVs into Canada.
We're letting China into a market that's going to have lower tariffs than our largest market, the U.S. They're going to undermine every auto manufacturer here.
The pact Carney and President Xi made, potentially pitting parts of the country against each other. But the Premier of Canada's largest canola-producing province doesn't see it that way.
The canola industry, the oilseed industry, the pulse industry is important to virtually each and every part of this country, up to and including Ontario.
Some sectors are elated about markets opening up again, while others are still waiting for relief.
While there was a deal announced for lobster and crab, there's many other species that weren't included that are subject to retaliatory tariffs. I'm thinking, cold water shrimp, sea cucumber, whelk.
We need to see the pork tariffs taken off as well.
While doing more business with economies like China may be divisive, experts today said it's key to Canada diversifying trade.
If you're going to do that on planet Earth, you're going to have to trade with China.
The new partnership also includes increasing cultural and tourism ties. Carney said Xi has agreed to allow visa-free access for Canadians traveling to China. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Coming up, Jurassic Door. Adam finds out how a herd of dinosaurs ended up living outside a Victoria ferry door. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Finally, Adam finds out the story behind a door attached to a tree surrounded by more than a dozen dinosaurs on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
Long before a crowd started congregating around their tree trunk, Linda and Brian Fraser say a fairy door appeared.
I think we just wanted to make people smile.
Not only were the fairies a source of delight for their daughters, they're decorating to celebrate Halloween, Christmas, and Canada Day, even rolling out a red carpet for the Academy Awards, captured the imagination of countless other kids in the community.
So they write these little tiny notes, and the fairies would generally write back.
After inspiring smiles for years, you can imagine how they felt when they woke up one morning to find that all of it, including the door, was gone.
And so there was this big gaping wound in the base of the tree.
And we were just devastated. It really was quite awful.
But it also proved to be quite an opportunity for their daughters to learn about resilience.
Something bad might happen, but that doesn't mean that's the end of something.
Linda and Brian decided to rebuild even better.
Because otherwise the vandal would have won.
Along with constructing a more robust new door, they welcomed a whole new set of neighbors.
We had a whole herd of dinosaurs outside of the ferry door.
The dinosaurs dominated for almost a decade, surviving their version of the Ice Age, joining in seasonal celebrations, and inspiring the locals to rename it the Dino Door, until one afternoon, they too all disappeared.
So that was enormously disappointing.
Although they posted this plea on social media asking for the reptiles to be returned, they never were. Instead, strangers who frequented the Dino Door began dropping off donations.
They wouldn't leave like a note saying, here's a dinosaur for you. They would just appear and be part of the herd.
And now, Linda and Brian couldn't be more grateful that more than a dozen dinosaurs are flourishing in this magical menagerie, a testament to resilience, kindness, and joy.
It's a very healthy thing for humans to be a bit silly every day, and I think that's part of what this door does for our neighborhood.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
The Sawatsky Sign-Off, brought to you by
CapitalDirect.ca. Let's make your vision a reality with Capital Direct. Call and talk to our team today.
And that is it for CTV News Vancouver Island. Thanks for joining us. Take care of yourself.